Imagine a world where the unthinkable has happened. A nuclear war has broken out. Are we prepared for such a scenario? In the current geopolitical climate, the threat of nuclear conflict, while not immediate, is ever present. Tensions simmer across borders, and the world's arsenals brim with weapons of mass destruction. These realities beg the question of preparedness. Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Fast Facts. The immediate effects of a nuclear explosion are devastating. We're talking about a blast that can obliterate entire cities, releasing a shockwave of heat and radiation. This is followed by a nuclear fallout, a dangerous cocktail of radioactive particles that can contaminate the air, water, and soil. The dangers are real, and the consequences dire. But it's not all doom and gloom. With the right knowledge and preparedness, survival is possible. Now that we understand the gravity of the situation, we will delve into how one could potentially survive such a catastrophic event. Preparation is key to survival, particularly in the face of a nuclear disaster. This statement bears a weight of truth that we cannot afford to ignore. In our current times, the unimaginable has a way of becoming real, and it's vital that we are ready for it. Let's talk about the importance of having a preparedness plan in place. A plan is your roadmap, your guide in the chaos that follows a nuclear event. It encompasses everything from knowing where to go, what to do, and how to communicate with your loved ones. It's not just about survival, it's about maintaining a semblance of order in a world turned upside down. A core part of this preparedness plan is a fallout shelter. An adequately stocked shelter can mean the difference between life and death in the aftermath of a nuclear event. The shelter should be equipped with essentials like preserved food, clean water, and medical supplies. Food and water are, of course, vital for survival. But it's equally important to have a variety of canned goods and dried foods that provide the necessary nutrients to keep you healthy. Likewise, water should be stored in a way that prevents contamination. Medical supplies are another key component. These include basic first aid items, but also medications for chronic conditions and radiation sickness. You never know what medical emergencies might arise, and having a well-stocked medical kit can be a lifesaver. Having a well-stocked shelter can significantly increase your chances of survival in a nuclear disaster. So, let's not underestimate the importance of preparedness. Let's be ready so we can face whatever comes our way. Surviving the initial blast is only the beginning. After the blinding light fades and the shockwave subsides, the world is not the same. The air is thick with an invisible, silent killer: radiation. This invisible danger can cause severe illness or death, and avoiding exposure is paramount to your survival. In the aftermath of a nuclear blast, radioactive particles, also known as fallout, rain down from the sky. These particles can stick to your skin, your clothes, and the surfaces around you. Ingesting or inhaling these particles can be deadly. This is why it is of utmost importance to stay indoors, in a shelter if you have one, for at least 2 days after a nuclear explosion. But how can you be certain when it's safe to venture outside? This is where a Geiger counter comes in. This device measures radiation levels in your environment, helping you make informed decisions about when it's safe to leave your shelter. A Geiger counter is simple to use. When you turn it on, it clicks or beeps with the frequency of the sounds indicating the level of radiation. The faster the clicks or beeps, the higher the radiation. This device is your lifeline, your connection to the world outside your shelter. Remember, radiation levels decrease over time. The first 2 days are the most dangerous, with radiation levels over 1,000 times higher than normal. After a week, the levels drop to about 1% of their initial value. After 2 weeks, they're less than 0.5%. So you stay in your shelter, you monitor the radiation levels, and you wait. You wait until your Geiger counter tells you it's safe. You wait until the invisible threat has faded away. And while you're waiting, you're not just surviving. You're preparing. You're planning. You're learning how to live in this new world, this new reality. Because surviving isn't just about staying alive, it's about adapting, it's about resilience. Staying protected from radiation is crucial to surviving a nuclear disaster. Surviving a nuclear war is not just about the immediate aftermath, but also about long-term survival. The world as we know it could be dramatically altered, and we may find ourselves in a situation where societal structures collapse, basic resources become scarce, and we are left to fend for ourselves. In such a scenario, our survival would depend on our ability to adapt and be self-sufficient. The skills that were once considered traditional, or even primitive, may become the most valuable. Hunting, for example, could become an essential skill, not just for the acquisition of food, but also for protection against potential threats. Farming, too, would play a crucial role. With supply chains broken, being able to grow your own food would be the difference between life and death. It's about going back to basics, to a time when humans were able to sustain themselves from the land. But survival isn't only about food. We must also consider health. Without access to modern medicine and healthcare, basic medical knowledge becomes paramount. Understanding how to treat wounds, infections, and illnesses with limited resources could save lives. This might all sound rather daunting, but it emphasizes the importance of preparedness. It's not just about having a bunker filled with canned goods, but about having the knowledge and skills to sustain yourself and others in a drastically changed world. In a post-nuclear world, self-reliance is key. Surviving a nuclear war is a daunting prospect, but not an impossible one. We've navigated through the dark waters of this topic, exploring the grim possibility of a nuclear war in our time. We've underscored the crucial role of preparedness, emphasizing that a well-laid plan could be the difference between life and death. We delved into the immediate aftermath of a nuclear blast, unraveling the steps to survive the initial impact and the onslaught of radiation. We've also journeyed into the long term, discussing strategies for enduring the aftermath of a nuclear catastrophe. The road to survival in such an event is treacherous, but with the right knowledge and preparations, it is a road that can be traversed. We've equipped you with the necessary tools for survival, hoping you'll never need to use them. Please remember to like and subscribe if you're enjoying our content. While we hope that such a situation never arises, it's always better to be prepared. Remember, knowledge is power and preparation is key.